Hello everyone, myself Raghu from Tally Solutions. We welcome you to the webinar session of Tally for Beginners Essential Part 3 of 4. In today's session, we are going to discuss about banking and advanced reporting. As of now, you might have gone through prerequisites 1, which contains these topics: installing Tally, activating license, creation of company, passing OSHA, creation of master, ledger, bill by bill tracking, financial reporting. And under prerequisites 2, you have learned activating inventory, unit of measurement, stock groups, item and part number, sales and purchase without VAT, and configuration of VAT, sales and purchase with VAT, and basic inventory report and register. So today's objective are banking and advanced reporting. We'll spend most of the time in banking module, and also we'll spend few times with regard to advanced reporting. Banking. 20 years back, Tally revolutionized creation of trial balance such that people have now don't even look at trial balance. It is as if it does not exist. Now it is time to take the banking process in India to a whole new level. You may or may not aware that business operations revolve around the bank. In many companies, there are dedicated staff just to manage the bank accounts, from issuing checks, depositing them, reconciling bank entries, managing bank charges, and so on. As more and more business transactions are done through banks and not by cash, the importance of banking is growing every day. Tally has very comprehensive coverage of banking, and we will review these in detail. The topic under banking module we are going to cover is recording banking transactions, check management, predefined check printing configuration, bank reconciliation, manual as well as auto bank, deposit slip, and payment advice. So now, each topic will go in depth and will understand. The first one is recording banking transaction. This is the payment voucher which we are shown here. It's very simple. You are making payment to Gen Enterprises, she is your vendor, and making payment through the bank, State Bank of India. In payment voucher, we have an advanced feature called textual configuration. So where you can make necessary configuration according to your usage. So currently, use single entry mode for payment receipt contra is enabled, and this payment voucher, whatever is showing here, it is single entry mode. With regards to bank, you have few configurations. Use default for bill allocation. If this option is no, then you need to specify bank details for specific ledger. And other options are use auto check numbering, allow selection of check range, show remarks and email. These are all additional information with regard to specific payment. Next, bank allocation. So what is bank allocation? If you are making payment to a specific party, you need to enter bank detail of specific party. Here you can see Zen Enterprises, you are making check transaction against check number and check date. Instrument number and check date, both are similar. So you are issuing cross check. Now, transaction time. So Tally has flexibility to select multiple transaction types. So for this transaction, we have selected check. Apart from check, you have other options as well: electronic check, electronic DDPO, interbank transfer, and same bank transfer. So what is interbank and same bank transfer? These are all the online transactions, as you are aware of NEFT and RTGS. So even those kind of transactions, you can do it in Tally by selecting these select for transaction type. All this can be configured from F11 feature. So which transaction type you want to visible during data entry, those things can be configured from F11 feature. Now we'll go to product and we'll create bank ledger, party ledger, and we make receipt as well as on payment transaction, and then we will understand clearly about these transaction types. So first I am going to create bank ledger. I am going to create ICICI bank ledger under bank account. Here you have an option called set alter bank details. I'll enable this bank detail. Next, you get a list of banks. This list is appearing from TallyNet server. Hence, you require internet connection to get this list. We have given note here. Note, need internet connection to get the list of banks. We have supported nearly 350 banks. Either it could be check printing configuration or it could be online bank reconciliation. So, not only Indian banks, even for outside India. You can see here UAE, Nigeria, Tanzania, Kenya, Ghana, Colombo. So even we have supported for international banks as well. Now, as we are creating ICICI bank, we will select ICICI from this list. So once we select ICICI, the next option is asking set checkbooks and set check printing configuration. These two options will be covered in next topic. Now we will just specify account number and rest of the detail and we will accept this. IFS code, Indian Financial Service Code, which is 11 digits. This code will be provided by RBI for each bank as well as their branch. So from here, I'll press Ctrl A to accept this ledger. Now we have done with creation of bank ledger. Now, I'll create one party ledger. Entity. I'll say Sundry Creditor. During creation of party ledger, here is our option to specify bank details. Even I can specify email ID, this will be visible during payment transaction. So provide bank details. I'll make this option here. And next is asking nickname. So nickname is nothing but to identify specific party's bank list. So it is possible that party may having multiple bank accounts. So hence, if you want to create all those details, so Tally has provision to create. So now I'll select ENC HDFC. It's nothing but short name of the company and the bank. So this party has bank account with HDFC. So I'm selecting a check. Usually I issue check. Is this default transaction? Yes. Cross check? Yes. So cursor is going to next line, and even you can create one more, ANP Citibank. So here I'll select interbank transfer. So we are having ICICI Bank. So if I am transferring funds to one account to another account, so it's a different bank, Citibank, hence it should be interbank transfer. I'll select interbank transfer, and then it is asking what is Citibank account number. I'll specify account number and Citibank IFSC code. Here, company bank. It is nothing but usually from which bank you are going to make transfer. So these are all your internal banks. You have Canada, HDFC as well as State Bank of India. Either you can select here or you can say end of list during payment transaction. You can select a bank. So after creation of party ledger with bank details, so now we will pause few transactions. The first transaction will cause the payment entry. So here currently it is in double entry mode. Correct? Where you need to select ledger. You need to delete the ledger to whom you are making payment. So that ledger needs to be deleted. First we will go with single entry mode. From here press F12. You can see here use single entry mode for payment, receipt and contract. I'll make this option yes. Now we will see the payment entry, single entry. You can see here, use default for bank allocation. If this option is no, then it allows you to enter the bank details and transaction details, everything. If this option is yes, whatever is defined in the master, which will be taken as default. So if you would like to see the bank allocation during transaction, let this option be on. Use auto check numbering, use selection of check. Currently I will make this option no. In the next topic we are going to cover. As we already specified email ID for this ledger, party ledger, and enable this option. Now you can see it is in single entry mode. A person who does have minimum accounting knowledge also we can perform this transaction. How? Currently it is asking account. If you press space bar, it lists all the ledgers. It's nothing but as you are making payment through which mode, cash or bank. If it is bank, either you select any one of the bank list or you can select cash. It's nothing but indirectly you are crediting the ledger. So now we will select ICICI. So here, particular, it's nothing but to whom you are making the payment. So as we have created the ledger as A and C agencies, we will select this. We specify the amount. Now you can see this is the bank allocation. Here you have transaction details. Check, ECS, electronic clearing service. You might have heard that EMI, rent, loan. These are bank has given provision as ECS, where directly it will debit in specific account. So user need not to pay manually. So bank will debit the account and they'll get the money from. It's called ECS transaction. And card is nothing but if you are using credit card, debit card, if you are doing any transaction using card. And ATM, if you are withdrawing money, so you can specify the transaction type of ATM. Electronic check and electronic TD is nothing but instead you print check in your office, you can insist bank to print check on behalf of you and then send to party through courier. These are all the advanced features provided by bank. So transaction type can be selected accordingly. So now we'll select check and it is asking check number. So now you need to specify the check number. So manually you need to type the check number. Let me type. The check number we specified is 78451. So check date. You can specify whichever the date which will get printed in check. And account will cross check. You can see here email ID also given. So this is a simple transaction we are done. Once after saving the transaction, you can press page up button to go to the previous transaction which you passed. So why I came back to accounting voucher allocation series, I would like to show you. If you go to F12, now if you disable this user single entry mode, see the changes. I'll press Ctrl A to accept this configuration window. Now you can see, now it is in accounting terminal. It says that debit is the receiver, credit is the giver. Correct? So this is the flexibility in Tally. You pass transaction in any mode and later you can change to any mode. Okay? Now we have learned how to pass payment transaction. In similar, we'll also show you if you are receiving a check from your party, how to record it. It's receipt transaction. F6 to pass receipt transaction. So now I'll select on party. You are receiving a check, I'll deposit to some of the bank. I'll select State Bank of India. You can see here, as you are receiving from the party Accra Battery Limited, is an easy check or DD or electronic check or interbank transfer. So through which you are receiving this payment. If it is check, you can select check. What is the check number? This is the check number which given by party. And which bank? Branch. Simple. So we are done with receipt of check. Correct? The last part of the topic is transaction type configuration. So it is available in F11 feature, under accounting feature, alter banking feature. If you enable this, the first option is alter list of transaction type. You can see here, whichever transaction type you want to show during entry, you can enable. If you want to disable ATM, you can. If you want to disable check DD, you can. This is the usual transaction happens in business. So cards are ECS I am going to disable. Now we'll see, as we have disabled ATM and ECS, Ctrl A to accept, and from here also Ctrl A to accept. So we are going with next payment. You can see here the ATM configurable. So whenever you want, again you go back to F11 feature and you can enable feature. So after banking transaction and bank allocation, next we'll move to the topic check management. So what is check management? As you have seen in the last transaction, we paused payment entry by specifying check number manually. So using check management feature in Tally, it allows user to configure check number range or auto check number. So you need not to keep a track of each check manually. So if you provide some input to Tally, Tally will take care of checkbooks. It also alerts duplication of number. Nothing but kind of a validation. It does. Report for check issue. Whom you have issued check? What date you have issued check? What is the status of check? All those things you can manage from Tally. Inventory of checks available. So availability of checks irrespective of time. How many checks are available? If you get 100 leaves of checkbook from bank, if you have issued 40, so remaining 60. What check number or what are the leaves of those 60, all details can be tracked in that. Stale or cancel check balance if you are cancelling the check or check got stale. So those things can be blocked or configured in Tally so that those numbers will not be used for any transaction. Filter based on check range. So there is a report called check register. From check register, using the filter, you can filter for specific report based on the criteria. So all these details available from check management. So this is a picture which shows check register. Now we'll go to product and we'll configure checkbook and we'll see the relevant reports. I'll go back to ICICI Bank. Here, I'll enable set alter bank details. The first option, set checkbook. I'll enable this option. Next it is asking from number. From number is nothing but you need to specify the first number of the check. As I said earlier, if you request checkbook with bank will provide you here 100 leaves of checkbook. The first number of the check and the last number of the check you need to specify. Then Tally will keep track of all those range details. So let me show you. This is the first check number and you can specify end of the number. If not, leave the field blank and specify number of checks. If you say 100, you can see here it will end with 2 numbers. And book name is nothing but who is managing or who is responsible, which department is holding this check. I'll say accounts. If you press enter, it is asking one more checkbook. Nothing but one bank may having multiple checkbooks. Let me specify one more. Minimum 6 digits. Okay. 50 leaves of check and then HR. There is no limit here. You can create a number of books. After this, I'll press Ctrl A and save the detail. From here also I'll press Ctrl A and save the detail. Now, I'll go to payment transaction. I'll select ledger. I'll specify amount. Then I'll select bank, ICICI Bank. Before this, with regard to check range, there is an option in Tally which you need to enable, which is in F12. Under banking allocation configuration, use auto check numbering should be yes. Allow selection of check range need to be yes. Then once you press enter, now you can see from the first range it is taking check rate. You can see here, this is the range 963,521. The first text number it has taken 963,521. If you want to change the range, just press backspace. You can select any range. And one more information I would like to tell you here. If you are issuing check for advertisement expense, it is possible that for this advertisement expenses, you may issue check to multiple parties. That is also possible. So I'll say ABC company, advertisement expenses, one payment I am making to ABC company, 3,000 rupees. And next, I'll go to other. For the second party I am making the payment. That is, you can see here, once you split the amount, in the second line also, Tally automatically taking the next check number, 963,522. This is the beauty of feature, as well as user need not to type any check number manually. Tally will keep track of it. After saving this, I will show you one more feature. Now I am passing one more transaction. It is asking the next check number, 523. If user try to edit this, 521 is already issued. If user try to edit, you can see here, same instrument number cannot be used more than once. This is the alert message. Not only alert, it will not move further. You need to change. It will not allow you to enter duplication. Now, as I said, there is a check register, correct? So come to banking. In banking menu, check register. You can see here, ICICI Bank. There are 148 available checks, and unreconciled are 3. Unreconciled are 3, reconciled is blank, and blank check, cancel check. Out of 3. You understand these in detail. If you just enter on ICICI Bank, these are all the two ranges we have created. Hope you remember, we paused one transaction without creating range. I'll show you the transaction. This is the transaction, right? First time we have paused this transaction after creation of ICICI Bank ledger. So this is not under range, correct? So we have taken some random number, but we have created these two check books. Out of 100, you have paused or utilized two checks, which is unreconciled. What is reconciled? What is unreconciled? We will explain in detail during the bank reconciliation topic. Briefly, I will tell you, if the check is realized in bank, then it comes under reconciled. If the check is not realized, then it comes under unreconciled. Then what is blank and cancel? Blank check is nothing but you have issued check to party without writing amount. In a business, it happens once after receiving the bill or goods, then the vendor will write amount and they will deposit in the bank. So in this scenario, you will just issue check with or without date, but without amount you will issue. Right? So cancel check is nothing but due to some reason, after even issuing a check, you may make cash payment. In this scenario, the check has to be cancelled. So you will inform party to tear the check. Once you tear the check, it has to be accounted in your system. So how to do? Everything we'll see. Now you can see, if you keep cursor on unreconciled, if you press enter, it shows to whom and all you made the payment. If you go back and if you select available check, it lists all available checks. Now, the first transaction what we will do, blank check. We'll issue blank check. I'll select this. You can see here, by pressing space bar, you are getting two options, alter and create a check. Either you can go for creation voucher by selecting some ledger. If you are issuing blank check, just click on alter status and select blank check. Here, the caption blank check comes. Here you need to enable optional voucher from employment feature. Enabling is blank check. It works as an optional voucher, non-accounting transaction. So now select the party. You see here cursor is not going to amount field. Rest of the details are same. It has taken the next check number. You can see. So now you can see here it comes under blank. So when this party deposits the check to bank, then obviously you will come to know, or you may inform you over phone, or it will be reflected in your bank account. Correct? Once it's reflected in bank account, just go to the same entry, and now if you take cursor to, still it is showing blank here, blank check. If you take cursor to party and if you press enter, then cursor goes to amount. It's nothing but, if voucher in alteration mode, then cursor goes to amount. If voucher in creation mode, cursor won't go to amount. If it is blank check transaction. Once you specify the amount, this will disappear. You can observe. Now this will become regular. This transaction has become regular. Okay? In the same way, I will also pass cancel check. It's check back cancel. So say alter status, select cancel, specify the date on which date you are cancelling, specify the amount. So made cash payment and cancel. Done. So as this transaction 524 is cancelled, next when you are going to make payment from ICICI Bank, then the next check number is take 525. Correct? So I will show you. I will come to Gateway Tally and select ICICI and select some major. I will go for a payment. You can see here. Select check. You can see 525. The default transaction type was interbank transfer, hence check number was not coming. Once after selecting check number, it is 525. Now, few other information with regard to check register. We learned bank and cancel. What is out of period? This is very simple. If you are viewing a report for a specific period, for example, 1st March to 31st March, you can see under State Bank of India there are 11 transactions which is between 1st March to 31st March, and there are 14 transactions which is out of this March, out of this period, above period. And if you take example of ICICI, we have passed all these transactions in the month of March, right? So now if I generate this report for May, you can see all the 5 transactions comes under out of period. As you are viewing the report for specific period, whichever the transactions available beyond this period comes under out of period. Okay? So and also few navigation bar you can go through by enabling S12. If you want to view, ignore the completed check range, you can. And also quick search. Click on quick search. You can type the check number. You can see here enter instrument number. Instrument number, clicking on check number. You can type the check number and view the details. For example, if I want to view any check number we'll take example of one check number, that is 963521. I'll go for a quick search. You see here, by typing the check number, you can view the status, whether it is reconciled, unreconciled, whom you have issued check, on what date, what is the amount. So this is with regard to check management. Now, we'll go back to our content. The next topic is check printing. So, currently, everyone in a business, they are writing check manually. So, Tally has a feature where they can print check. While check printing may not be very popular in India, the reason is more to do with software support, but it's not being available or not easy to configure. Tally changes all of this, and you will see how getting to printing check should not take more than 2 minutes. First, we need to configure the bank account, and we need to select the format. We'll test the print, and you have an option to select unprinted check, and you can reset check number and date. You can print and you can reprint those. What are the advantages of using check printing features in Tally? It allows user to configure check for bank using sample format provided, which comes along with images. It supports multiple check formats for a single bank. Multiple check formats, nothing but if ICICI State Bank of India has multiple check formats, all those we are provided in. Whichever is applicable for you, you can select the same and you can configure. Allow user to print the painting or already printed or required check completely from single screen. If you have fast print transaction, if you want to print all those 10 checks from single click, that is also possible. If you want to print one by one, that is also possible. Allow user to update the check detail and have track of check to be printed or selected on all banks. So Tally also alerts user whether the check is printed or not. All those details in the product. It will also allow user to print the check in vertical format, irrespective of printer size or paper size. You can print check in vertical format. So all these configurations are stored in TallyNet for easy maintenance and updates. So that when taken care of Tally, any update or any issue will be fixed through online, which will be downloaded on your Tally automatically. So this is how the screen from where you are going to print the check. This is the before print. Now we'll go to product and we'll configure for check printing. We'll enable for ICICI Bank. I'll go to alteration of ICICI Bank ledger. Set alter bank details, yes. It is connecting to internet and it is visiting the bank out of ICICI Bank. We have covered checkbook. Now we are enabling check printing configuration. I'll enable this, and you can see these are all the formats it is showing. CS format 1, CTS format 2, 3, and these are all the old formats. Whichever is applicable for you, just press enter. You can see the configuration shown automatically. So go back. And the last option you have user defined. If you don't want to go with the given format, if you want to create your own, you can. Using the scale, you have to measure height, width, and you need to specify dimension in mm. Like width of check 196 mm, height of check 35 mm, like that. As Tally has given provision, you can enable and you can select any of the format. And if you want to additional information, see print company name on check, you can enable, and salutation, you can specify. And save this. You get Control A. Here also get Control A to accept. Even before you go for a print of original check print, even you can check the configuration, whatever you selected, for test print. So again, go back to alteration of check printing configuration. So we can select this, enable. It is asking sample check printing, say yes. You can see here, it is printing here. So now, in this format, it is going to print. So now, ensure that you have selected the respective format, and every time you come to this option, you need to specify. Why? Because I'll tell you the logic. Can check, I'll say no. Here, alter check printing configuration. Once you configure, it will be saved. Once again you come back to the same menu, it is nothing but you are altering. Again you need to select. So, if your check book and format is same, you need not to alter every time. So, whenever you come to alteration mode, every time you need to select. Any updation is there, it will get applicable from the last alteration. Now I will save this. Now I will go for payment transaction, or under banking menu, the first option is check printing. Select ICICI Bank. You can see here, these are all the transactions we already made. Printed, it says no. Correct? So before print, here you can see there are options. Press enter to alter. If you want to do some alteration, you can. Or else, press F7 to check detail. If you press F7 here, if you want to change the favoring name, you can. If the favoring name is blank with nothing but the same ledger name is going to print. For advertisement expenses only we have made changes, right? Hence it is shown. Now we will select any one by pressing space for select and go for print, Alt P. So before print also there is an option called orientation. Correct? So here, in which format you want to print? So if you click on Alt N, it asks, do you want to print check in vertical right, or vertical left, or horizontal? First I will show you horizontal. You can see, this is how it's going to print. Here you can make signature. So if you have multiple checks, if you want to print all those, just select all and go for Alt P. Then it is asking first favoring name. You can see here the first ledger is going to print first. Say yes, it will print. And if you press escape, next it is asking SY agency. If you press escape not to print, then it also lost the job. If you press enter, it will print. So this is how you're supposed to configure for check printing. Now we'll go back to our content. So after check printing, next is bank reconciliation. So we discussed about reconcile and reconcile, right? Which is part of bank reconciliation. Now we will discuss more about bank reconciliation. So what is reconciliation? In simple words, cross verification of company books with bank books. You need to keep verifying with bank statements with your books. Then only you will come to know what exactly happening in the book. So bank and cash are very important element in it. Hence, it's very important need to keep a track of banking transactions. So there are some scenarios. We'll tell you, without your intimation, without your notice, some transaction happens at time. So how do you keep track of all those? You issue check, but the party who has received the check may present later. He will not present immediately. So how do you come to know that when he has presented? In your books of accounts, you might have paused that entry today, but he will present after 10 days. It will come to bank after 2 days. So finally 12 days. After 12 days, you check into your bank and you will get realized how do you come to. Similarly, vice versa, you receive a check from your party. You deposit to bank whenever you require. If so, how do you keep track of all this? Sometimes bank charges. It could be interest, it could be penalty, it could be miscellaneous expenses, check return charges. Whenever they charge, how do you record those transactions or entries in your books? So, this is how the bank statement looks. This is a soft copy of a bank statement, where it shows date, description, debit, credit, and the balance. So, whenever you pause any transaction, it will be debited from your bank and which you need to record in your books. You can observe here, checkbook miscellaneous charges, 110 rupees, and bank charges till June, it is 500 rupees. So these are all the charges debited by bank without your intimation, and it will not come to your notice. Whenever you go through the bank statement, then only you will come to know, okay, these are all the transactions need to be recorded in your books. So reconciliation. Now, when you pause any transaction in your book, how do you ensure that it has been reflected in bank? Once it is reflected, then you need to confirm in your books of accounts that yes, this is reflected. This is called reconciliation. We will show you how to do reconciliation. Reconciliation has two methods. One is manual as well as auto. So you need to do manual reconciliation by specifying the date. We will also show you how to do auto reconciliation. So for doing auto reconciliation, we have some standard formats which need to be enabled in Tally. For example, we support Excel, CSV, text, as well as MP940. How to do manual reconciliation? This is the bank reconciliation screen where you can specify the bank dates manually. The first transaction is nothing but you have made payment transaction and bank date is blank. It's nothing but accountant has to type the bank date here. As you are issued check on 1st March, so this may got cleared on 5th March. So you need to type 5th March here. So once you specify the bank date, it's nothing but it's realized in bank, hence this transaction is confirmed. So whichever is not realized, nothing but it is yet to be appear in bank. Clear? So now, based on realization, based on unrealization, the balances will vary. Correct? Those realization balances come under bank. Unrealized, you have issued the check and you have received the check, you entered in your book, but it is not yet reflected in bank. Those comes under amount not reflected in bank. It could be debit or it could be credit. And last one is opening balance configuration with regard to bank. So it is possible that if you are opening a new book in Tally, if the transaction made on 31st March, do you think it will get clear on same date? You have issued 20 checks on 28th, on 31st March and received 10 checks on 31st March. All these you have entered in your books. But do you think it will get cleared on the same day? No. It may take few days. It's nothing but it will go to next financial year. So 1st April is the next financial year, right? In India, April to March is the financial period. If you pass transaction on 31st March, it goes to next financial year. So how do you keep a track of those transactions? That's called unreconciled detail. You can see here unreconciled detail needs to be specified as opening balance. This also we discuss. Now we'll go to product and we'll see how to do bank reconciliation manually and automatically. So how to enable? I'll go to HDFC Bank. You can see here, activate auto reconciliation. If you enable this option, for auto bank reconciliation, we have supported format is Excel and CSV delimiter. You can enable this option and press Ctrl A to save the changes. And here also press Ctrl A to save the changes. I'll go to banking. From banking, bank reconciliation. I have 3 banks, out of which I'll select ICICI Bank. You can see here, these are all the transactions we have made. So, these are the transactions we have made it on 31st March. So, possible that only few transactions may get clear on 31st March. I'll specify on 31st March here. See, once I specify the date, only this transaction become reconciled, the rest will be unreconciled. I'll press enter, accept and say yes. Again, if you go to the same bank, only 3 transactions, nothing but from this screen, reconciled transaction will disappear. If you want to know which all transactions you have reconciled, just press F12 key. There is option, show reconciled transaction also. Enable this and it shows which are all the transactions you have reconciled. We have few other transactions in State Bank of India. You can see here. There are few transactions. Now what I'll do, I'm doing manual reconciliation. RTGS, it happens in the same day. If it is a check, it may take few days to get clear. This is how we're supposed to do reconciliation. You need to cross-verify with the bank statement, and in whichever the date these transactions are got clear, you need to take the date and you just specify. Then press Ctrl A to accept. Once you accept, those transactions will disappear. Okay? So now, from here only, opening balance. You see here opening BRS. If you click here, as I said earlier, whichever the transaction you entered in your books, which is yet to reflect in bank during financial year end. You see here 31st March 2010, correct, last year, you have received check from so-and-so party, you are deposited, but it is yet to clear. And 31st March 2010, you have issued check to Rajesh Exports, it is yet to clear. And these things are shown. Once you save these details, obviously, first week of April or second week of April, these transactions will get clear. Then you need to specify 5th April 2010 or 8th April 2010 and accept it. Then those realized transactions disappear from this screen. And here is the balance. Balance as per company. As per your payments, receipt transaction, this balance will get updated. Amount not reflected in bank. Nothing but you have passed the transaction. Still it is yet to be reflected in bank. Balance as per bank. Here is the difference of things. Now, I'll show you how to do auto reconciliation. For that we have another company. We have made few transactions according to the statement. I'll load that company. So before that, I'd like to show you the statement. You can see here, the bank statement is available in D:(demo). This is the bank statement in Excel we have taken. Transaction date and description, check number, branch code, debit amount and the credit amount and balance. Now what we will do, I am going to import this statement. It's a single click activity. The statement is available in D:(demo), right? So I'll minimize this. Once after import, I want this statement to move to imported folder. This is how I am going to configure. State Bank of India. Procedure is same. You are going to enable the auto bank reconciliation for this bank. Supported format for selected bank is Excel. And here is the one. Alter location of bank statement type. I'll say yes. To specify D:(demo). And after import, those statements should move to D:(demo) imported. You can save the details. Now, we'll go to banking, bank reconciliation, State Bank of India. Here, we already learned how to do reconciliation manually by specifying the date manually. Now, as we are talking about the auto bank reconciliation, here is the option Alt-B. Click on Alt-B. In whichever the path you specified the bank statement, it is showing here, and it says the file name, imported is no, and which date. Here is the one, with view, without view. Do you want to view the statement first and then import? Then you say with view. If you don't want to view the statement and directly if you want to import Tally, then say without view. So now what we will do, we will view the statement and then we will import. I'll press enter now. It is showing busy. Now you can see, these are all the transactions available in bank. bank statement. Correct? We will track anyone. You can see here, 4th December, 5,400, end with 1,75,513. I'll go back to that statement. This is the transaction, right? 4th December, 5,500, the closing balance is 1,75,513. The check number is 234,509. 234,509. Correct? So now, I'll close this statement. Now I'm going to import. You see here, there are 19 transactions available, out of which 16 got reconciled. Additional bank entries are 3. So from a single click, within a fraction of second, Tally does auto reconciliation of 16 transactions. So to do this manually, it may take minimum 30 minutes. You need to search for the statement, you need to search for the transaction in the statement, which will take time, and then you need to confirm in the books. So whatever Tally does automatically, we will accept it. Control A, I accept. If I go back, it shows only whichever the transactions not yet reconciled. If you press F12 again, show reconciled transaction also, then it shows all the transactions which is reconciled automatically. So now, we'll disable for time being and we'll discuss about others. That is, amounts not reflected in company books, but it's reflected in bank and so on so date. You see here. These are all the transactions not reflected in company books, but reflected in bank, out of which the interest part is cash deposit. On 30th April, here also we have 30th April 5,000. Then why Tally didn't do reconciliation? Because Tally does auto reconciliation based on few criteria. First criteria is instrument number. If we have instrument number and the date and the amount, then based on these 3 criteria, Tally does auto reconciliation. For depositing check, you don't require any instrument number or check number. Hence, only for cash deposit, Tally will not do reconciliation. User has to do manual. However, they have given easy option to do reconciliation. How? Keep a cursor on this and press reconcile unlink, which is not list, hence it says reconcile unlink. Then, for this amount, if any transactions are available in books, it shows. There is only one transaction available, that is also correct, 30th April 2012, cash deposit. Accountant will come to know very easily as he has paused this transaction. Then he just need to press enter and it says reconcile successful. You can see that got disappeared. And the next one is bank charges, correct? Until unless you go through the bank charges, bank statement, you will not come to know what charges bank has debited. So from here, you just need to pass a new entry. Alt C. You can see here, create voucher. If it is credit transaction, it suggests payment entry. If it is debit transaction, if you click on Alt C, it suggests receipt entry. So first we will pass this bank charges entry. Alt C. Select the relevant ledger, bank charges, and in bank allocation screen, you can select as other, and you can complete the transaction. And the last one is receipt. In which scenario it might have happened? You have received the check from the party and you have deposited. It got cleared in bank, but you forgot to pause the transaction in bank. Correct? So hence, auto reconciliation will help you to do all those mistakes. Keep a cursor, click on Alt C, by seeing the amount you will come to know who is the party. Select the party and rest of the detail is possible. Which bank party has given it. Now it is done. Just Control A to save this. So this is how you are supposed to do bank reconciliation. So even you can keep a track of this pound check and see, it is very easily both PAN and company books go out of sync. And it is important that you reconcile them frequently so that you have a true picture of bank account. So now we will go back to our content. So after bank reconciliation, there are 2-3 topics with regard to banking. One is check deposit slip. The check deposit slip option in the banking menu allows the user to generate a deposit slip for payment received through check CD, which need to be deposited into the bank. So, in a business it happens that you may receive multiple checks from parties and accountant has to write each and every check number, bank, amount invoice, all these details in deposit slip before you deposit to bank. So Tally has provided a feature where you already enter those details in Tally, right? Check number, bank details, amount, everything. So from a single click you can generate check deposit slip. So the process is fine as long as number of checks are less. If you are depositing 2-3 checks, it's okay. Many businesses routinely deposit hundreds of checks per day and manually filling these check details in deposit slip is very difficult. Correct? So now what we will do, we will show you how to pause the transaction and how to print check deposit. So and also we have provided the filter option. You are having more transactions in a day where you can filter for specific transaction by amount or let your name or instrument number. Okay? So now we will go to product and we will see how it can be configured. So first I will pause few transactions. That's it. Correct? So check deposit is you are receiving the check. I will go to State Bank of India and I will select we'll go back to our earlier company. I will go to State Bank of India and I will select party ledger. The party has issued check against one check number. The bank is HDFC. And another party also issued check. Now we have passed 2 transactions. I'll go to banking, deposit slip. Under deposit slip there are 2, check deposit and cash deposit. I'll select State Bank of India. There are few transactions available. These are the one we paused just. Assume that there are multiple transactions. Before printing, if you want to make any changes, you can go for Alt F12 for filtering. For example, if you want to filter a specific check number, here is an option equal to 65464. If you want to do any changes by pressing F7 itself, you can do, or you open the transaction and do necessary change. By pressing edit check details, we can specify received from whom. If nothing but this check you received through courier or through someone. So if you want to keep a track of all those, you can specify those details. Or else go for selecting transaction print. If you want to print specific one, press spacebar and go for Alt P. If you want to print all at a time, then go for select all. Then go for print Alt P. So it is asking the date, printing date, and also it is asking, do you want to print company telephone number? You can. In this format, it prints. It has all the details: bank name, branch, date, check number, account number, PAN number, total amount in words, in figures. For this, you need to attach the check and deposit in bank and get the acknowledgement. So similarly, even we have another feature that we'll discuss now. After check deposit, another one is cash deposit. Any cash received has to be deposited in bank with relevant cash deposit. Tally also provided a feature where you can specify denomination of currency and can deposit to bank. So Tally allows user to generate cash deposit or depositing cash into bank on any particular date. The cash deposit option in banking menu is used to generate cash deposit with bank wire. So this is how it looks. You need to call contra entry, then you can go for the print of cash deposit. Now go to product and we'll configure this. I'll go to contra, voucher, contra. So I'll switch to double entry mode. As you know, we need to credit the cash if you are depositing cash. The cash is going to specific bank. I'll say 1,25,000 we are depositing to State Bank of India. The transaction type is cash. Now you can see it is asking the denomination, right? I'll say 20,000 and 5,500 and I'll say remaining 100. Go for save. After saving, come to banking menu, deposit slip, cash deposit slip, select the respective bank. Here also concept is same. Just press space bar and go for print and specify whichever the date you wanted to. It shows this is how it's going to print. After confirmation, press enter. There will be two copies. The first copy is for banker, the second copy is for customer. For customer copy, we need to get acknowledgement from bank. Last feature under banking menu is payment advice. As you know, payment advice is a document that you attach with the check you send to your supplier or vendor. A payment advice does several things. First, it is professional looking document and this is a good feature to show Tally user along with check payment. It's very simple. As you are issuing the check to party or making payment, so you are giving supporting document for what reason you are making this payment, which contains all those details. So hence it is useful to issue payment advice before making any payment to vendors. It will be very clear that for against which bill you are clearing the payment, hence it is needed. So this is how it looks. So now we'll go to product and we'll print one payment advice. So we might have paused already a few transactions. I'll go to otherwise we'll pause one payment transaction for the party. You can see here, for Zen Enterprises, we have cleared 2 bills. The bill number, bill date, everything is available. So now we are issuing check, manual check, as we are not configured for State Bank of India system. After printing check and all, we come to banking menu, payment advice, and the party. Here is the one. Select and press Alt P. So, which date you are printing, you can select, and you can enable bill wise detail you want to print due date, PAN number, everything. Here is the one. Then the party will be very clear. Again, these 2 bills, so-and-so date, due date was so-and-so, and this was the bill amount, total amount, and you are making payment. Again, check number, date, through which bank, and the amount. Transfer to come if you are making transfer online. That's next allocation. So now we have done with payment advice. And also we are done with banking module. So as of now, we learned check management, check printing, bank reconciliation, auto and manual, check deposit slip, cash deposit slip, and payment advice. We have completed a very comprehensive use of banking in the business and how Tally delivers these services. Correct? With substantial time and human resources costs are incurred by business in managing banking. And if these features are used well, then will have significant positive impact to any business. Now we'll move to the next major topic, that is advanced reporting. So under advanced reporting, we are covering classification and reclassification, columnar reports, adding or removing column, removing line, comparing companies, export and extract coordinating. First, we will discuss about classification, reclassification. What is classification? Nothing but a grouping. You create party ledger under one group. Default is only data or filter. If you want, you can bifurcate with regard to city or a district or a state, however. So here is an example, Ajay Timber. We created a ledger. The classification is like this. The high level classification is current asset, low level is Bhubaneswar. Bhubaneswar has been created under Orissa. Orissa is created under India customer is. India customer is created in Sunday data, and Sunday data comes under current asset. The scenario here is, what happens if Ajay Timber shift to different state or different city? So we have to reclassify. So how to reclassify? In a single click, this can be done in series in process. First I will show you, taking you to trial balance, the current asset, Sunday data, India customer is Orissa, Bhubaneswar, there is Ajay Timber. Right? So, we'll assume that this Ajay Timber is shifting to Cuttack city. If he is shifting to different state, you need to keep cursor here. As he is moving to different city, keep the cursor on here and press Control Enter. Okay? And instead Bhubaneswar, ensure you have created Cuttack with the same classification. Select this and press Control Enter. Control A. Now you can see under product decimal has come. So what Tally shows, this is a powerful feature that provides the capability to instantly reclassify ledgers. This enables a user to reclassify at any given time ledger. Another example of incremental implementation. A user can start using Tally with just default groups, whatever is available, or approximate group, and reclassify them later when need is arise. Correct? So now, after reclassification, now we discuss about columnar report. The columnar report can be generated for any report. We will take first example is balance sheet. This is how it looks. So this is quarterly bifurcated using few navigation keys, Alt C, Alt A, Alt D and Alt N. Now we will generate columnar report and we will see it. I will go to balance sheet. I will press Alt M is the one auto column, and then I will select quarterly. Here you can see the balance sheet shown is quarterly. End of June, first quarter, end of September 2nd, December and March is 3rd and 4th. This is very useful in case of analysis. This is also one of the Tally's most powerful capabilities, is that supporting business analysis within the Tally. A business owner can now see one report how various financial aspects changed across the year. Correct? If you take example of current liability, the first quarter ended up with 1 crore 8 lakh 5,230 and it varies in second, third as well as in last. You can take necessary decisions, and also you can see, I'll keep a cursor on current liability. If you press enter, it shows details again in same manner. If you press escape, it goes to previous screen. Now, the cursor you observe, this is the time to introduce you to the double cursor in Tally. The horizontal line is the line of the focus, while the darker cursor is the current focus on element. Now I am keeping cursor on fourth quarter. I'll press enter. It shows only the fourth quarter transaction. Or scan to 30%. This kind of columnar report can be found in many reports. Try out with trial balance with regard to monthly reports. And in any given point of time, if you don't want to see the specific quarter, you can go for delete column. It will just delete for specific for a time being. And if you want to add, I am going to add, apart from these 3 quarters, I am going to add a specific month only for the month of April. You can see 3 quarters and April for comparison. After columnar report, removing line. As we were comparing the financial aspect, if you want to remove any line, it's also possible in Tally. So after removing even you can restore. All this we'll see now in Tally. We'll go to balance sheet. I'll select current asset in condensed format. For a time being, I don't want to see this deposit as well as advance tax. The total value you can see here, 3 crore 81 lakh 55,300. I'm going to remove these 2 elements. Remove line. You can see here, after removing, the value also got changed. It will be there only for instant it got removed. If you press escape and come back, it will restore. This is also for analysis purpose, whichever element they don't want to view for time being, they can do. After that, comparing companies. This is also very good feature in Tally, where you can compare financial aspects with different companies or sister companies. I'll show it in product. So currently we have one company. I'm going to load one more. We require two companies to compare data. Now we have STM traders as well as STM distributor. I'll go to profit and loss account from gateway Tally profit and loss account. Now STM traders is open. I want to compare this data with STM distributor. For the same thing, if you leave two field blank, it is considered the end of the financial. You can see, now you can compare each and every element. Cost of sales, sales, expenses, direct expenses. You can see, each and every element you can compare the same concept. You just enter, the data will flash from specific person, wherever you are. Any point of time you can go for print also. Same manner it will get print. Last but one feature, beyond Tally export. Right? So there are few reports which can be exported into Excel and you can do further analysis in Excel. I'll show you now. As well as ODBC. First, we'll complete this export part. So, I'll go to display, accounts book, sales register. I have few transactions here. I want to export. I'll go for Alt-E export. I'll enable pivot table as well. After export, I'll do some analysis. It is getting exported to Excel. So it got exported to Excel. So now, you can go for insert pivot table. If you just drag the element, you can see row level as third party. On a specific month, these are all the ledgers are available. And next, I want amount field. I'll change the value to sum. Select sales transaction name. And if you want to view any other element, let me take voucher reference, you can take. You see here. Item batch. So this is how you can do any further analysis. So now, after this comparison, right? So in the same Excel, you can select the row, party row, and you can select amount row, and directly go for columns. So from a single click, you can extract report to Excel and you can do further analysis. So after export, the last feature of this session is ODBC. You can extract Tally data through ODBC. Open database connectivity. So there is a procedure. You need to follow 3-4 steps. Then you can get Tally data to Excel. So now the company is open and ensure that server with ODBC port 9000 is configured. This has to be configured from general. Has to be configured from advanced configuration, advanced configuration, server or client with the port number. Now you go to Excel, select new book, data, from connection wizard. Either you can select ODBC ESN or you can select from Microsoft Query. Here we have Tally ODBC 9000. Say OK. It got connected and it is showing all the masters available in Tally data. Out of which, let me select few. I want ledger detail to be exported. We say ledger. In ledger, there are multiple elements. I want name, ledger name, name, address, and email ID, PIN code if any, income tax number, VAT number, and any other ledger, phone, fax, contact, mobile. These are all the basic information I am extracting. So now I'll go for next, sort by, I want it to be sort by name. I'll say finish. You can see here, from a single click, all the ledgers we have exported. There are 320 ledgers got exported with required information. So after ODBC, now we are end of the session. So in today's session we learned recording banking transaction, check management, predefined check printing configuration, bank reconciliation, manual and auto, deposit slip, cash as well as check, payment advice, classification and reclassification, columnar report, adding and remove columns, remove the line, comparing companies, and export and ODBC feature. Right? So, thank you.